Hello, I just came home from work and I just felt like filming a book tag. I don't think I've done a book tag in maybe a year. I'm not completely sure when the last time I did a book tag was, but this one seemed like a lot of fun. I don't know if this is an old book tag, I don't know if it's a new one, but I will leave the original creator Jan in the description bar below. I saw Books and Lala do this and she wrote the questions down in her description, which is very handy. Question number 1, how many bookshelves do you have? 0. Well, this is technically my bookshelf. This is a suitcase, an old suitcase that belonged to my mum, and she doesn't use it anymore, obviously. Yeah, I just kind of decided to turn it into like a book suitcase. So this is the only thing I have that's holding my books. I also have my Goosebumps collection underneath it, and then I have like 2 little cubes, but they're not filled with books. They're filled with like my writing notebooks and stuff, so I guess that doesn't count. So technically I just have this one. Question 2, how many books are on your bookshelves, or how many do you think are on there? So I try to scan all of the books that I own on Goodreads, but I think I may have missed a few here and there. So I think I have approximately 100, I want to say, because the ones that I've scanned on Goodreads are about 80, I think. But then I have like a ton of other Goosebumps books and I don't think I've scanned all of them, so I think I have about 100. Question 3, how do you organize your books? I don't. I really don't. Question 4, what is the oldest book on your bookshelf? So what do you mean by oldest? Because if you're talking about like oldest written, I think it would have to be Little Women. I think this was written in, when was this written? Like early 1900s or like late 1800s, I'm not sure. Or I think, oh, you know what, I have a book of fairy tales. Hans Christian Andersen. When did he write his books? I don't know. I think I have a... Is Jane Austen 1800s? There's my Jane Austen book. I do have Sense and Sensibility. I think this was written in 1800s at some point. Or maybe Jane Eyre. I know Jane Eyre was written in the late 1800s, right? I don't really know too much about this kind of stuff. Yeah, so it could either be Jane Eyre, it could be Little Women, it could be Hans Christian Andersen, or it could be Jane Austen, one of those. But then if we're talking about oldest book that I've owned, I think that might have to go to Twilight. Even though this particular copy, oh no, actually, yeah, this is the copy that my friend gave to me when I was 15, which is the first time that I read it. And that's like if we're talking about books that are on here, because if we're talking about my Goosebumps collection, I have a ton of those. So I don't know, I guess I'll just pull one of them out. This isn't the oldest Goosebumps book that I own. I think the first Goosebumps book was either The Haunted Mask or The Night of the Living Dummy. But I'm not gonna shuffle through my Goosebumps collection because they're all neat and tidy down the bottom. Question number 5, what is the newest book on your bookshelf? So again, if we're talking about publishing wise, The Unhoneymooners by Christina Lauren. This I think came out this year in March or May, which is very rare. I don't usually buy like new releases very often because they're usually very expensive, but I really enjoyed this book. This is a romance, adult romance. It's a haters to lovers trope, and yeah, It's very good. But then if we're talking about newest book that I acquired, I would have to say Love, Life and the List by Casey West. I'm actually in the middle of reading this. This is another romance. You'll see a theme here in my books. This is a young adult romance, and it follows this girl who wants to get better with her own art, and so she wants to find experiences because she's only 17, and she just wants to have more experiences in life so that she can make better art or something. And it's, you know, obviously judging by the cover, there's a romance, and I think it's friends to lovers, which is really, really sweet. Number 6, what is the longest book on your shelf? I don't know. I think so. This is only 400 pages. I'm pretty sure I have longer books than that. Jane Eyre, how long are you? Okay, so this is 500 and around 540, give or take, I think. No, 550. Yeah, around 5. This is 550. So this might be the longest. But I know for a fact that I think The Book Thief is also around about 550. So yeah, so it's either Jane Eyre or The Book Thief. I don't remember where I put The Book Thief. So question number 7, what is the shortest book on your bookshelf? It's either of these 3. So let's see. All My Friends Are Superheroes. How many pages are you? Oh, this is like 100 pages, so not this one. A House at the Bottom of a Lake by Josh Malerman is one of my favorite books of all time. Everyone should definitely read it. Okay, 100 again, so that's definitely not. This I know for a fact is like 70 pages or something. Yeah, this is exactly 70 pages. It's a script of a play. It's called Peter and Alice by John Logan. It's a reimagining, not reimagining, but it's as if the character that inspired, the person that inspired Peter Pan, Peter Llewyn-Davies, and the person that inspired Alice from Alice in Wonderland, if they were to meet together, like what would the conversation be like? Because I think because they were known to have influenced these like really great works of literature, I think their lives really changed or something. I didn't really look too into like what their lives were like and stuff like that, but this play is about the conversation that they both have. And then there are other characters that come into this. There's like the actual character of Alice in Wonderland, and there's also the actual character of Peter Pan that come in and out, and there's a couple of other people, and it's really, really, really moving and really, really sad. Question number 8, what is the predominant genre on your bookshelf? Definitely contemporary. I like to read about more character driven type books. I think that's why I'm drawn to like things that are set in the real world, because it doesn't, I don't need to read about, I don't need to learn about world, I don't need to learn about magic systems and stuff. It's just about characters, and it's about feelings and emotions and real things that people go through. I'm not saying that fantasy books don't do that too, it's just fantasy books to me is a lot harder to kind of understand the emotion and the feelings behind the characters, because there's so many other things going on. Most fantasy books are very much plot driven, and I'm not like a plot. I like the boring books that are about boring people and just their feelings. Go to a random number generator and talk about the book that corresponds with that number. Okay, so I only have one bookshelf, so I'll just like just generate a number, I guess. Generate, how do I do this? Okay, so I think I can change this number to, let's do like 80 because I think that's what I know is on this thing. I'm not gonna go down to my Goosebumps, I guess. So let's generate 1 to 80. 22. How do I do this? Do I just count? I guess I just count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. What is this? Okay, Attachments by Rainbow Rowell. I really enjoyed this when I first read it. Basically, it's this adult romance contemporary. It's about this guy named, I forgot his name, I think his name is Lincoln. It's about this guy that works at this tech company, but he works at this company. I don't really know what the company is, but he works in the tech department. So his job is literally to just be there on the computer and monitor everyone's computers, like what they're doing online and like their emails and stuff, so that, you know, if it's inappropriate for work, that he's the one that like flags it and tells them like, hey, like don't do like other stuff that's not work on the work email and stuff like that. So because he gets kind of bored, because it does sound like a boring job, he starts to get these emails that come in with these it's a conversation between these two co-workers, these friends. They're like really good friends, Jennifer and Beth, and he, instead of flagging them, because they do talk about like random things that don't have to do with work, he starts to read them because he I don't know, he just gets bored and he's like, oh, I'll just read their conversations, which is a little creepy. I really enjoyed it. I think I enjoy Rainbow Rowell's adult fiction more than her young adult. I wish she would write more adult. I love her writing style because it feels very rom-com-y, which I love rom-coms. I also think that she's such a punchy writer, and I think it's because she used to be a journalist. She used to write for a column or something. So I think like if you want to get into like romance, if you're into the rom-com type of romance, I definitely think you should pick this one up because it does remind me a little bit of You've Got Mail. So yeah. Do you have fan merch or any other decorations on your bookshelf? I don't. I have pop figurines, but they're not on here. I didn't put them on here, but I have a pop figurine of the Weeping Angel from Doctor Who. I also have the 10th Doctor from Doctor Who, so David Tennant's Doctor, because he's my favorite. But yeah, I don't think I have anything else. I have a Minion thing. I have this doll that I've had since I was 2. It was given to me by someone at my church. I have a Tweety Bird doll thing. I have a cow because I like cows. I have a beast. Here are all my postcards, like collect them, and I don't know, I think I might put them in an album at some point. I have this teddy bear thing that I got from Germany when I went to Germany. I have this thing with my name on it when I went to Barcelona. That's it. I don't really like collecting like knickknacks and stuff. I find it so, I don't know, I'm not like, I collect certain things. I collect books, I collect CDs, and I collect DVDs sometimes. I don't have too many of them, but I do collect them sometimes when I can find them. But other than that, I don't really like to collect like little knickknacks and stuff because I just find it, you know, it takes up too much space, and I already feel cluttered in my own room. So, and the last thing this tag wants me to do is to show you my bookshelf, so I guess I'll do that now. This is my bookshelf book suitcase. I have all of the heavier kind of books up here, so I have some hardcovers. This is like an interactive version of Peter Pan that I love. This isn't actually a book. This is a... Ready? It's a flask, which is fun. I've already showed you those. I have a lot of my contemporary stuff. I have the Tattooist. This, I'm actually in the middle of reading this as well. I just got it recently as well. So these are all of my contemporaries. I have We Were Liars. I have This Song Will Save Your Life, First and Then, Kill the Boy Band. I don't, this is one of my favorite books of all time. Please, 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 if you haven't read it, please read it. It's so good. But what was I saying? I don't own all of the books that I've read because I don't like to own too many books. As I keep mentioning, I don't like to have too much stuff because I feel all cluttered. But I really like Courtney Summers, so I collect all of her stuff. What else do I have? This is a really great graphic novel. What's down here? I have Charles Bukowski. This is a short story collection great for Halloween. Coraline by Neil Gaiman. Love it. One of my favorite books. This one was okay. The Ruins, one of my favorite horrors. So yeah, I basically just own a lot of favorites. What is this? This is one of my favorite thrillers, You, by Caroline Kepnes. A really good poetry collection if you're looking for some new stuff to read. Anne Frank. This is a lot of my Casey West collection because I love her romances. Are so fun and so fast paced. This is a book about Coco Chanel. And I bought this book from the Shakespeare & Company in Paris. It's the only reason I'm keeping it because I haven't actually read it. Not sure when I will ever read it. That's a good book too. Tiger Lily, one of my favorite books. You should definitely read it. This is Fantastic Beast. And then I have a couple of hardcovers there. These are all of my like shorter books. So I have that play that I just talked about. A House at the Bottom of a Lake. Poetry collection by Sarah Kay. If you don't know who Sarah Kay is, look her up on YouTube because she's a great spoken word poet. This is Depression and Other Magic Tricks by, I forgot her name, Sabrina. She also does spoken word poetry on YouTube. Definitely check her out. Love her poetry. Helium, another great poetry collection by Rudy Francisco. He is one of my favorite spoken word poets, so look him up on YouTube because he's great. And then I have that one. And then here is where I said that I keep a lot of my fantasy style stuff. So I have Great and Terrible Beauty by Libba Bray. I have this is a fairy romance book, Dark Fever. One of my favorite, Beauty and the Beast retellings, because it feels more Hades and Persephone, and I really, really like it. A lot of people actually didn't like this one. I think it's the best thing ever. I disagree. The Wrath and the Dawn. Love this book as well by Renee Ardier. This is a 1001 Nights retelling, and it's so good. And if you're looking for like fantasy romance that's like good but also has like strong women in it, definitely pick this up. A Darker Shade of Magic. I love Victoria Schwab. What else do I have on here? So these three are my Hunger Games. Yep, my Hunger Games. And then Victoria Schwab again. Twilight. What's back here? The Knife of Never Letting Go. This is the only sci-fi book that I actually really enjoyed by Patrick Ness. Definitely check it out if you're looking for some really fun, quirky writing style. I think he's really good at that. And then I have my Mortal Instruments. I only kept 3 of the books because I only like those 3. And then back here is my John Green, Will Grayson. Great book. The Fault in Our Stars. I actually got this book signed. My friend gave it to me as a birthday present when I was 21. There it is. It's his little squiggle. Also, it's purple, which, fun fact, I used to only write with purple ink when I was at uni because that was the only pen I owned. So yeah, that's basically my bookshelf. And then I have my Goosebumps collection down here. And they're all packed. And, you know, I don't really want to touch them because it's really hard to, like, keep them up. So, yeah. Anyway, that is all from me today. I'm not sure if people have done this tag. I'm not sure if people even want to do this tag, but I'm gonna tag some people down below. And I hope you're having a great day, and you will see me in another video soon.